What if I told you guys that one of the rarest horror movies ever, something that routinely sells for over $400, is finally, for the first time ever, coming to Blu-ray? So what up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Miles of Horror, your home for all things horror, physical media, and indie cult cinema. If you guys would be so kind as to hit that like button, please subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it. Doesn't cost you a thing. Just hit that like button. The more likes a video gets, the more it gets spread throughout the algorithm, and people get to see the channel. Next goal is 500 subs. I think we're at like 487, something like that. So appreciate the love. Let's get right into things. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. As always, the only channel that's going to make you scream. So it feels like every other day I'm waking up to some crazy TerrorVision news, and that was the case this morning. I don't even know when this thing dropped. I think it was in the middle of the night. But the acclaimed first ever shot on video horror film from 1983 cult classic Sledgehammer is finally coming to Blu-ray for the first time ever, and this is a massive deal, guys. There was a DVD of this back in 2011, I believe, from Intervision, which was kind of like a constituent partner label of Severin at the time. And so, to my understanding, this is again the acclaimed first ever shot on video horror film, but I believe Boarding House was actually the first ever shot on video horror film. But that one did have a theatrical release, and Sledgehammer didn't. But anywho, so the film was directed by David Pryor. If you know nothing about this film, check this out.
Now we're gonna have some real fun.
Hey, an orgy! All right, that's what we're waiting for.
You fool, I didn't have.
Hey, let's get started.
Put your shit on. Quiet. I'm talking about a seance.
It is campy, it's gory, it is schlocky, it is tons of fun. It's shot on video greatness. And it tells the story of a young boy who murdered his mother and her lover with the title itself, a sledgehammer. Now, 10 years after the murder and the child's mysterious disappearance, a group of raunchy teens decide to stay in that very same house for a weekend of tomfoolery, guys. Now, all hell breaks loose, as you can probably imagine, and the young teens are terrorized by the ghost of the young boy and his sledgehammer. And as I said, guys, this is some of the best shot on video goodness from an absolutely unmatched and unbridled era of tape store cinema. Like it is fascinating to me that what TerrorVision is doing, and I'll preach this from the rooftops, but they are my absolute favorite physical media company right now. And the fact that this just broke last night, and it's going fast, I'm just like, I can't. It's hard to process something like this happening because, again, like I mentioned, the first time ever on Blu-ray, guys. Now, listen, this thing is not easy to watch because, like I said, it had that DVD release back in 2011. But other than that, to my understanding, I believe it's just the VHS. Now, the VHS. Now, I mentioned before, this thing goes for over $400. I've seen this thing pop up a ton of times on claim sales. It does pop up from time to time. However, this thing goes for big money. I haven't seen it really sell for less than $400. Now, take a look at this on eBay. Okay. As you can see, these are just a few of the ones that are up on eBay right now. It's possible that the prices could drop based on this new release from TerrorVision, but this thing is like a very vaunted, sought after title. This is like a massive, massive deal. The fact that we're getting this from TerrorVision, and they just again routinely, putting things out that have been long stock on either VHS or DVD, and they giving it this proper treatment. And another thing that I love about them is that they've released some things that had other releases too, but they're giving it the proper treatment and giving the proper extras and going that extra mile to get to make them definitive editions. I know. I believe they do a lot of their restorations, outsourced, and so they spend the time to really make sure these things are um the way they want them to be done and proper restorations and all that good stuff. I'm a big fan of this company. I'm a subscriber. If you're not familiar with their subscription service, definitely go check out my videos on that. 'Cause I did a couple of videos highlighting their subscription service and why it's so incredible. And so I want to just note a couple things about this release before we get into it, before we head over to TerrorVision. This thing's going to sell out. Okay, if to my understanding, I think it's already half sold out. And like I've been saying with all TerrorVision releases, these are going to be highly sought after titles, guys, in a few years. And again, I know they're highly sought after now because I'm a big fan of these movies and this company, and this is kind of my thing. I really like this vibe and these tape store oddities, and I love what TerrorVision is doing. But these titles are reminding me of like the early Vinegar Syndrome days, days when things like Demon Wind came out and they were putting out this lenticular slip. Like, this is a highly sought after title now that goes for big money, long out of print. Or even something like the Amityville box, right? This thing goes for big money. And again, not that I would ever sell these things. I'm not looking to sell these things, but this is what I'm trying to say is that this era of TerrorVision is when you want to be getting in. Don't be late to the party. Rumpelstiltskin, Revenge of the Radioactive Reporter. Now we have Sledgehammer. These are the titles that are going to be highly sought after in a few years, highly vaunted out of print titles. And Revenge of the Radioactive Reporter and Rumpelstiltskin obviously sold out. The limited, you can still get the standards, but these limiteds again are what you want to have in your collection. This is going to be the big creme de la creme, versions of these movies in a few years. Now, one thing I do love about TerrorVision is they do a limited and a standard, so it appeals to tons of different fans. But I'm telling you right now, guys, don't sleep on these limiteds because these are the ones you're going to want to have in your collection in a couple years. Let's head over to TerrorVision. Let me show you what the deal is with this release because there's so much to love about it. I also, again, guys, if you are not familiar with their subscription service, check out my other videos on it because I have done a few highlighting their subscription service because I have been a subscriber for about a year now. And I love everything they do. So anyway, you go to TerrorVision.com. You're going to see a mailing list watermark. I am on the mailing list. I guess I'm not signed in or whatever. But anyway, it's the right at the top, you're going to see the release. Now, I didn't even know about this last night. They didn't do any promotion for it. They didn't put it on social media, nothing. I found out from a buddy of mine, Fistful of Horrors on Instagram. He storied it this morning, and I woke up to it. I was like, what the fuck? I literally couldn't even believe my eyes. I was shocked. And so lo and behold, it was true. And I went over to TerrorVision's website, and there it was. And not only that, it's $32, guys. $32. You're going to sit there and tell me you're getting a limited deluxe edition Blu-ray release for $32. You don't want that?
Gonna cost you a lot of money. Let's see.
It is not going to cost you a lot of money. It is as cheap as it gets. Now, again, if you are a subscriber, it's even cheaper than $32. It comes out to like $21 or $22, which is crazy. And you're guaranteed the limited. So anyway, let's get into it because there's 1,500 copies, and it's down to, it's not here at the moment. Sometimes if you refresh, it'll pop up. 889 left. Now, to my understanding, it just came last night. Somewhat time in the middle of the night, maybe like 11 or 12 o'clock. I was passed out. And so it's like about halfway sold out already. It will sell out. I guarantee you, if it's not tomorrow, if it's not the next day, it will sell out this week. It's going to happen. So get your order now. I want to just start out real quickly and say the first thing that jumps out to me about this release is it is a Blu-ray. So this is the first time ever. Okay, like I said, there was a DVD of this back in 2011 from Intervision, but that was it. This is like the first time this thing is ever high definition, Blu-ray, scan, all of that. And so the other thing that jumps out at me is they did the original artwork, which I absolutely love. Such a nice touch. Simple, effective is exactly what I would want out of this release. And so let's get into this actual release here. So it is a pre-order that will ship in July. Flesh tears, bones shatter. The nightmare has begun. So TerrorVision in partnership with Severin Films, which I think is absolutely awesome. I think that the more companies that are kind of coming together, it's a win for everybody. So they're partnering with Severin Films and are thrilled to bring the pinnacle of shot on video to Blu-ray for the first time in the world. So Sledgehammer sourced with a new transfer from a master tape to bring this bloodshed to you in the best way possible. So it's a brand new transfer from a master tape. Now, again, like I mentioned, to my understanding, and this is from an interview with Brad, who's the man, by the way. He kind of does the acquisitions for TerrorVision. And to my understanding, I watched an interview with him. He said they outsourced a lot of their restorations. So I don't know exactly. I'm guessing that's what they did with this title. But again, things could have changed since that. That was, maybe 6 or 7 months ago. But to my understanding, they outsourced their restorations and transfers. But anyway, this thing's loaded with new and old extras, some legacy features, and it marks the definitive release of this classic horror film. Thank you to Severin for making this nightmare come true. So I'm guessing maybe Severin had the rights to it. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm curious why, if Severin had the rights, they wouldn't have put it out sooner. Maybe they just never really thought it had the legs, or maybe it just didn't really fit their brand, because Severin has really become an Italian horror kind of company, and shot on video isn't necessarily really their thing. It does feel more of like a TerrorVision thing. So anyway, we're no matter how you slice it, we're getting it from TerrorVision. And what I love about TerrorVision the most is that everything they do, whether it's Revenge of the Radioactive Reporter, Dance or Die, whatever it is, I mean, you're getting the definitive release. Okay, there's not going to be another release that will be better. It's just, this is how you want to own the movie, and that's kind of the end of it. Of course, another company could come along and get it, but I'm willing to bet that won't happen. I think this is going to be the physical media release for this movie, and that's really it. So, you get a hard box booklet. CD is limited to 1,500. Will not be repressed. So, like I said, it's almost halfway gone already. Less than 24 hours. So, some new special features. Let's see. We got a perfectly bound booklet with writing from Dan Budnick, Heather Drain, Clint Kelly, Yasmin Katita, and Michael Varrati. Commentary with Ted Pryor, who is the director, and Clint Kelly. Commentary with film historian Yasmina Katita and TerrorVision's Brad Henderson. Fuck yeah, Brad, if you're watching this, I am very excited to hear you on this commentary. Commentary with David Pryor and Clint Kelly. Commentary with Bleeding Skull. That's kind of cool. Bleeding Skull is a studio that puts out a lot of like underground movies, and I think they had something to do with the DVD, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But interview with David Pryor, interview with Ted Pryor. Maybe I was wrong. Is David Pryor the director? Is Ted Pryor the director? I'm sorry. I'm getting my Pryors mixed up. But anyway, interview with Joe Bob Briggs. That's really cool. Are those the new features? Let's see. Let's see. I'm not sure which are the new features. Like I said, I don't have that DVD, and the VHS goes for crazy money, so I just don't know. But yeah, interview with Doug Matley, interview with Linda McGill, interview with Janine Shear, interview with Robin Beauchamp, Rewind Zone with Yasmin Katita. Now listen, of Rumor TV, that's big time stuff. Listen, like, look at how many extras there are in this TerrorVision title. I mean, this had to be years in the works, and I this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is the definitive release. This is like bring this movie to a whole new stratosphere of things. It doesn't even stop there. Featurette with Destroy All Movies author Zach Carlson. So you get a featurette. You have you have the old master from Intervision. So you get that DVD cut. You get the making of Sledgehammer with crew members. I mean, this is insane. It's only 2 minutes, but still, you have the CD. So it says TerrorVision has spent the last several months working with a variety of master tapes for the official soundtrack. We meticulously restored and remastered the soundtrack to the film using a variety of sources to bring this isolated soundtrack to your ears for the very first time. I'm not big on the soundtracks, but maybe I just need the right film to get me into it. Anyway, no matter how you slice it, guys, I mean, this is a massive, massive announcement. Truly, a massive, massive announcement. A huge win for physical media. A huge win for television. I mean, I'm still shook that this is a thing. I mean, and listen, I am a subscriber, so it will come into my subscription. I don't even need to worry about it. But jump on this thing now, man. These are the titles you want from this company. These things are going to be long sought after for years and years and years. I promise you that. Okay, so that's it. Hit me up in the comments, guys, if you've seen Sledgehammer. If you're excited for this release, and if not, that's cool too. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.